Oh, so many earnings to discuss. Can the market hold on? Can the market hold on? We're going to talk about Apple, we're going to talk about Amazon, we're going to talk about Google, and a few more things here on the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. I am Mark Melnick, and I will be navigating you through these insane markets today. We have Apple reporting, Google reporting too, Amazon, of course, and of course, we're going to talk about the Newsbeat Edge. We sort of forgot to do it last time. I sort of skipped over it, so I promise I'll be over it this time. That's number 4. Then we're going to share with you our game plan and Forex cheat sheet, and then, of course, we're going to get into our Q&A part where you could ask a Q&A on any stock you're watching, levels where I would buy it or sell it, any opinions about the market, and anything market related in general. So we're going to go ahead and start the show here. Yes. Great old Apple reported. And nice call, Ken. You thought it was going to go down and then up. You actually ended up being 100% right on that. And Apple dipped early on. I mean, nobody really thought Apple was going to report bad earnings. I think it's more the guidance that people have to watch. And let's just get crack-a-lacking into it. We're going to go ahead and just discuss it right here. Let's just pull up a 5-minute. And you could just see this is from after hours on the 5-minute. Stock plummeted to 162.5. Explodes out all the way to 174.25 and now digests. So, Apple reported 77.32 million iPhone units sold versus the 78.29 million last year. So they were a little light on the Apple iPhone sales. Apple sees Q2 revenue 60 to 62 billion, which is such a phenomenal number, versus the 65.73 billion consensus. However, their earnings per share in Q1 revenue did beat $3.89, beat the $3.86 expected. And 88.3 billion beat the 87.28 billion expected. So Apple coming in ahead by a little over $1 billion. I mean, who's counting when you're talking billions? So, taking a look here at these Apple earnings, they plummeted it down. Tim Cook came out and basically said he was thrilled with the reception to the iPhone X. I mean, really? You were thrilled with the reception to the iPhone X? Oh, I get it. You're just saying that to the public, so because you think we're all idiots. Of course you're thrilled with the reception to the iPhone X. Guess what? You're going to be thrilled with the reception to the iPhone 11 or 9 or 10 or 12 or... Didn't they go from 8 to 10? Isn't X the Roman numeral for 10? How mystical. However, they are selling less iPhones than originally thought. Apple says they're still experiencing difficult memory price environment. That's interesting. They also see strong services and wearables growth in Q1. A lot of people walking around with the new Apple Watch. You couldn't pay me enough money to wear one of those things, sending electromagnetic waves through your body. Good thing that we don't have any true scientific testing on them and that they're releasing products into the public. Maybe a lawsuit waiting to happen. Nonetheless, Apple says the App Store had its best holiday season ever, and yada, yada, yada. So, Apple gapping up to 173.36. After really taking a beating recently, this is not one of the stocks going to all-time highs off of the earnings. You could watch the level tomorrow of 174.95. I think that could give you a good breakout level. And if you get a short intraday level, you'd probably need to use more of a 5-minute type time frame. Okay, let's just go see what else is on our list. We're also, of course, dealing with Google. Now, Google also plummeted on results, GOOGL. You could just go ahead and see it right here on the 5 minute. The stock actually hit 1104.28, exploded back up to 1175, and now is digesting at $1,154. So, what exactly is going on with Google? What did they report? They missed on earnings per share, 9.70 versus the $9.98 expected. Beating on revenues by about $500 million. They named somebody as a new board chair, John Hennessy. Is that like the Hennessy Alcohol Company? They also reauthorized a purchase of 8.6 billion of their Class C shares, saying the Tax Act was enacted in an additional expense of $9.9 billion for a one-time transition tax on foreign subsidiary earnings and its deferred tax impacts. So, looking at Google here, it's kind of hard to say where you're going to go. The true level to hold above, if you're going to be bullish in Google tomorrow, I need to see you hold above 1158.99. Let's just round it off a penny and say 1159 as your level to remain bullish here in Google tomorrow. I know it's trading at 1154 tomorrow. It's doubtfully going to open there. You're going to have a lot of analysts upgrading, downgrading in the morning, most likely upgrading. And we'll see where Google really wants to head from there. But in terms of breakout, you could use 1187 for 1187.93, and then of course maybe you make a clear path right over to $1,200. So let's go ahead and move on along. We're going to do the Amazon earnings breakdown, and this one was a lot more interesting because nobody on the planet thought Amazon was going to disappoint. I mean, who really thought that now gap up or down is another story, but who really thought Amazon was going to miss on earnings? You crazy? Nonetheless, Amazon so far impressed Wall Street on earnings. Got a gap up to $1,477. So it's currently trading at an all-time high. Just like the other names, they plummeted at first and then popped on earnings. Q1 revenue, they gave an estimate, a $3 billion range, 47.75 billion to 50.75 billion versus the 48.75 billion expected. So it's at the above the median range. Forget about friends with benefits. You could have stocks with benefits. And Amazon reported Q4 earnings per shares with benefits of $3.75. Which beats the consensus of $1.85 completely. Amazon CEO says he loves snooping on the average American in their house, and it far exceeded his expectations. But what he really said is Alexa projections were far exceeded. They're expecting to double down on spreading Alexa into everybody's home. I use Alexa. I love to ask Alexa so many cool things. Alexa, how far are we from Mars right now? Mars is 186 million miles away. Thank you, Alexa. Alexa, when's the Knicks game? The Knicks will play tonight at blah 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 blah. Oh, here's my son. Alexa, play a children's song. Definitely the coolest artificial intelligence robot ever. She even tells jokes. I asked Alexa, I'm like, Alexa, tell me a dirty joke. And she said something about like someone falling in mud or something. So, you gotta love it. She's definitely a class act. Nonetheless, Amazon completely destroying earnings, doing really well here. And, again, the all-time high, you just have to hold about 1472.58, which was the all-time high made just a couple days back on Wednesday. And, almost a couple days back yesterday on Wednesday, and we'll see if we can break through that level. So just keeping it really, really, really simple. And next, we're going to talk about how to improve your trading. It's the free Newsbeat Edge, which talks about things that have been working currently in the market to make good money and ways that you can take advantage of it. So the trick is, I think, have as much ammo on your side as possible. What does that mean? Well, It means in the market, more is better when it comes to consistency and conviction. So many people asked me today, Mark, are Bollinger Bands good? That was one of the questions I got. And I said, I don't use them. But of course they're good because there has to be someone out there making money utilizing them. Our moving average is good. Our volume bar is important. The answer is very simple. Everything that you see is important. It's the conjunction when joined in a harmonious confluence that makes these things important. So let's say you're trading stock XYZ and you're using a moving average. You have an exponentially moving average at $50, and you have a Bollinger Band support at 49.95, and you have a Fibonacci support level at 49.90, and you have something else as a support at 49.72. Basically, the fact that all those levels are converging upon each other makes this almost harmonious confluence in the market where the combination is greater than the sum of all its parts. So the basic answer for this is have as many things on your chart working for you as possible. Also, you should always follow a news headline that's out. You will generate more consistency if tomorrow morning you trade some random stock. Let's forget about the earnings names. They're crazy names. I don't want to talk about trading Apple, Amazon, and Google tomorrow. Of course, we'll probably end up doing it, but let's talk about just a normal stock, and it gets an upgrade. You want to trade that stock to the long side. Instead of trying to short it because it goes up too much in your humble opinion, why not wait till it pulls back to your support level and try buying it? You're going to have much more success and much more consistency in the market. And step 3 is, of course, keeps tight stops for positive risk reward. So, I threw a webinar tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And we were basically buying Bitcoin at the dead bottoms. And what I was really showing you guys was basically where we bought Bitcoin. On the GDAX, it hit a low of 8,400, and we were actually buying it there. We also bought GBTC. So we were literally buying Bitcoin at the day lows. And someone asked me in the webinar today, Mark, where was your stop on Bitcoin? And I literally said, because I just happened to buy the day lows, coincidentally, in Bitcoin today, my stop was a penny below the day low. I had a 1 cent risk because I bought it, it popped. I already say, okay, if it goes down and it keeps breaking down, I'm just going to get stopped out for a break even practically, or a 1 cent loss. So generally, that's not the case. Generally, you have wider stops than that. That was just a funny example. But what happens, what you'll see is, in a lot of these names, and we trade a lot of these names, and I'm about to show you some really cool examples here of names. Like, for example, I like using 5-minute support. So, for example, when we were watching Boeing today, that was a good one. When we pulled down to the 5-minute support, it just gave us a little trade. It didn't look like the biggest trade, but when you had a 5-minute exponentially moving average hit, it bounced for the first time. And right over here, you see is Boeing. It went up, pulled back, and right over here at 1020, it broke that support range right over there. If you were buying there, you could have a stop underneath. You could buy around 357.89. The low of the bar was 357.67. And then the stock popped to $360.49 in 10 minutes. So basically, it popped $2.60 in 10 minutes. Maybe you caught 50 cents of that. Maybe you caught $1. Maybe you caught $2. Maybe you caught $2.50. But small situations like that for intraday trading, I believe, are critical to your ultimate success when managing the market. So that is going to be your Newsbeat tip for the day. And of course, next on our agenda is our game plan and Forex cheat sheet, where we share what we're watching for tomorrow in the stock market on our game plan, as well as revealing my live orders in the Forex market that you could see and you can use. None of this explaining, none of this garbage, just what I'm actually putting my own money behind. So let's go ahead and share the game plan. And you'll always notice I'm trying to give you guys, like for example, AKER. The reason why I'm giving people, like you might say, Mark, do you really trade these 50-cent names? I mean, the truth is I do, but I intentionally give them out, for example, like an AKER, because the thing has volume, and at 57 million volume today, I could easily see this thing breaking out for another day to the upside, and that is why I discuss these names. We have people dealing with very small accounts here. Sometimes they're looking for a name that could really make a difference for them. Little names like this that can have big percentage moves with decent probability and decent risk reward. That is why I will always try to give you guys at least one name that looks, for example, very cheap per se. And then, of course, I'll give you guys other names as well. And we could go ahead and you see I gave you guys EZPW, which was a name that reported earnings today if you weren't watching. And they exploded through the ceiling. And here's EZPW, announced earnings, beat Wall Street expected, 23 cents per share versus the 19 expected, gapped up, giving you guys a simple trigger through today's high of 13.55. And last but not least on our game plan, of course, is Meredith Corporation. That's MDP. And they too announced earnings. Sort of disappointing Wall Street, even though on paper it didn't look so bad. It's a publishing company, obviously. They got beaten up. And who am I to judge? So I'm looking at a potential short, $55.05. That's going to be today's low. Maybe we get a short trade in it tomorrow. And moving on along through our schedule, we have our very famous question and answer session. Oh, did I not show you guys the Forex? I'm sorry. I have a ghetto Forex thing still right over there. You could see the type of order. These are all buys. My size, my symbol, the price I'm bidding at in this case, my stop loss, my take profit level. All that and more. You're welcome to hit print screen if you want to save it. You can always watch this video again as it is public on YouTube and Facebook. And you could just type in a search for a Newsbeat Show, and you'll always find the latest episode of the Newsbeat Show, and you can copy it from there. So again, last on our agenda, of course, is the Q&A section. The Q&A session is the last part of our agenda where I'm literally your pocket technical analyst. I sit there and I really give you levels on every single name you're watching and more. I answer any technical questions you have in the market to help navigate you. I try to help you in situations that you're in, and I do my best to give you as much as humanly possible. However, that is only for members of our Newsbeat Live Room. So if you wish to join the Newsbeat Live Room, we do have a link within the description of this video. And I hope you guys enjoyed the Newsbeat Show. Happy trading, make money. We'll see you guys next time here on the Newsbeat Show. Have a wonderful evening.